Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Overflow. In this video, we discuss another LeetCode problem, that is the increasing triplet subsequence. This is a medium level problem, and we'll understand how we can solve a question like this. Okay, so we'll understand this one step by step. And before moving on, if you haven't subscribed to Learn Overflow, make sure to subscribe to Learn Overflow for regular LeetCode videos like this. So the question says we are given an integer array nums, so that's an integer array given to us, and we have to return true if there exists a triplet of indices ijk. So triplet of indices ijk should be there such that I is less than j less than k. So that should be present over here, right? And what it means, like it's the indices I should be less than j less than k, and what it actually means also, it's like nums I should be less than nums j should be less than nums k, and if no such indices exist, we should return false. Okay, if such cases doesn't exist. So if we just think of it simply, what it means is like we should find numbers. We should find like three triplets or three indices which are in increasing order, right? I less than j less than k. That means k being the largest, less than that is j being the second largest, or maybe somewhere less than k, and ji being the smallest. So this should be the case, and also the numbers, like the value at those indices, should be following the same order. So this is the normal idea. Just if you just look at the example, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can simply find 1, 2, and 3. If you say k being 3, like nums of k being 3, and then j being 2, and then I being 1. So if that's the case, you can find out that there's an increasing order being found out, right? So this holds true. So you can say yes, it's a true. We can say like any of the triplets you can take out of here. Fine. This is holds true. Now the question comes up is like how we can solve questions like this. Okay, once to solve a question like this, we'll start with a simple logic. Logic being, we'll take two variables, say small and another one is big. Okay, I'm just writing as s and b, but you can take it as small and big. Okay, and initialize these two variables as in infinity. You know how to initialize infinite numbers in programs, and int numbers is like integer dot max value. You know that. So we'll initialize that with infinity. Now what will we do? We'll go with each of the numbers, like for each elements in our nums array, one by one we'll go through that. And what we'll check, we'll update small if if we find an element that is less than small. Okay, we'll update big only if we find an element greater than small but smaller than big. Fine. We'll update small if we find an element lesser than small. Okay, if we find an element lesser than small, we'll update small. If we find an element greater than small, okay, if we find an element greater than small but lesser than big, okay, then we will update big. Fine. If this two condition doesn't hold, you can find out that if now we got like the bigger number, not the biggest, not the smallest, but we got the bigger number. Okay, so this is a small trick which actually solves this kind of question. Now you might find it a bit difficult to understand how this is working, how what should the dry run. I'll show you a perfect dry run on how this approach is working. Let's quickly go ahead and write this question, and then I will show you a perfect dry run of exactly how this question is working. So this is the kind of approach we are going to follow. Now let's quickly run it, and you'll see that it should work for us. Okay, let's look ahead to it. Yes, you'll find that this should work for us. Now let me explain it to you how actually this approach works and what we are doing exactly in this. Fine. So obviously this is much faster, but as you know, it sometimes does some kind of problems. Anyways, so what we are actually doing with this is like, see, we took two variables, small and big. Okay, small and big being two variables, and now see, this is what happens in LeetCode. Anyways, that's not what we should be looking at. Let's look at what we are doing over here. Fine. First of all, we started with two large two variables with the largest values. We both assign them with integer the max values. Fine. Now what exactly we are doing? We are what exactly we are doing? We are simply going ahead with we got the max values, then we traverse with each of the numbers, like nums. Then we check if our n, being the current number, is less than equal to small. So initially it's max, so it should be less than equal to small. So we are assigning it to small. Fine. So first thing what we are doing, we are trying to find out the smallest number in that. Fine. The next thing what we are doing, we are finding out the next a number that is greater than small. Obviously this case will be false, then only will come to the other cases, right? So the first case we find the smallest number, then we look for a number that is less than equal to big, that obviously that is greater than small. So once we find something less than equal to big, we update the big. So we kind of find a value that is greater than big. And if both of this condition fails, that means a number is there that is greater than small, a number is there that is greater than big as well, right? In that case, we come up to the last case. So we simply return true. That means we found a case. Okay. If we traverse the whole nums array, but we couldn't find out any value, then we simply return return false. Okay. So if you want to understand what's exactly happening in this, let me just write two print statements. The print statements will help us understand how these numbers are changing. Right? I will explain it to you step by step. Now see what exactly happening. We got two values. Fine. What we first got n equal to 1. For that n equal to 1, we came into the first loop. Okay, that is it is less than equal to small. So small becomes 1, and then we are printing this statement. The other two else cases are not getting executed. Fine. So we are simply printing the statement. Then we found n equal to 2. Okay, then we find that once we find n equal to 2, then small is 1, and we found it is greater than small, right? This if case is not valid now. So we come into the else part. Then in the else part we make big equal to 2. Fine. And the next case where we actually returned and that print is not happening is like when we find 3, n equal to 3. So when n equal to 3, then what happens, it simply gets a value that is greater than small, that is greater than big. Okay, and we find the value, so we return true. Fine. So that's why we return true. So we are actually not traversing the whole nums array, but in the worst case we will definitely traverse the whole nums array. Now let me write a different kind of valuation, like different test case, so that it becomes understandable for us. So in this, if we just write down a different test case, so in this you can see like 1 0 2 0 minus 1 3. If this is the case, okay, but the numbers are not previously sorted. Now how it happens? See, first it got 1 being the first value. Fine, it got 1, and then it makes small equal to 1, right? Then it got 0, it makes small equal to 0. So you found the smallest value. Then it got 2, which is greater than small, right? So it makes big equal to 2. Fine, it made big equal to 2, and then it got 0, right, which is equal to small, and small remains small it is. Then we got minus 1, so which is less than small, we update small. Then you got 3. Now this value is greater than small, greater than big, and that's where we return true, right? We return true, that's where. So this is the way we are going ahead with. Now you may assume like, what happens if like the numbers are not this, say something different is there. Okay, let me give another example where you may say it is contradicting. Okay, let me just give you the example. Say a number is like 1 3 0 and 5. Fine. Now in this case, is it a like the increasing triplet is there? Yes, because 1 being the first, 3 being the second, and then 5. Okay, but if you run this, you will find something contradicting. Why is it? See, what's happening over here. First we got 1, which is made to small. Next we got 3, which is made to big. Okay, and then we got 0, where small is getting changed to 0, right? But look over here, small is getting changed to 0, and then you got 5, which is greater than small, greater than big, and return true. But you shouldn't be confused about this. We are supposed to find any one triplet where I, j, k. I being the first element. See, first element was there, that's why we could update big as the next element, right? The first element was 1, that's why we could update big being the big element, right? So that's it's possible. So we found I and j, and we are actually finding out that k. Okay, so in the else case, when it will come up in the first, when somehow we couldn't say update our big, or somehow we couldn't update our small. Okay, if those are the cases, then like small will eventually get updated. But if those are the cases, then it should be like we are like if all the numbers are in decreasing order. That's the cases where we couldn't find it, right? So that's what we are actually trying to find out. So I hope it is understandable that the 0 small is getting changed to 0, but this is not the index we are actually thinking of. We're thinking of the index that's 1, 3, and 5, the index of those. Okay, so I hope this is understandable how this question works. So as I shown you, this is like much faster solution, 2 millisecond, and at times it goes down to 0 millisecond as well. So it is as it is. So I hope this is understandable how we can solve a question like this. So thank you all for watching this video. If you have any doubts to this question, make sure to comment them down in the comments as well. I'll be happy to help you out in the comments. Also like this video and subscribe to this channel for regular LeetCode videos like this. Thank you all.